Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are really getting into something quite bold, a source manual that claims, quite incredibly, that there's an exact science to getting rich. And get this, if you follow the rules, failure is apparently impossible.
It's an absolute guarantee, isn't it? Almost unnerving. This manual doesn't talk about luck or, talent or even your background. It insists wealth comes from doing things in a certain way.
A certain way.
Yes. And it claims this way is as predictable as, say, algebra or arithmetic. Put in the right actions, the right thoughts, and the result is wealth. Guaranteed.
So forget needing to be in the right place or having startup cash or being some kind of genius. This is all about what? Internal state and specific actions.
That's the core of it. Exactly. So our mission today for you is to really break down what this certain way involves. We need to look at the mental framework you absolutely have to adopt, the kind of actions it demands, and interestingly, the huge role of gratitude in all this.
Okay, let's start at the foundation then. Because it sounds like everything else builds on one core belief you just have to accept up front.
You do. You have to take a leap of faith, essentially. It's grounded in what the test calls the monistic theory of the universe.
Monistic, meaning one.
One, the idea is there's a single original thinking substance, a formless stuff that everything is made from. Think of it like, I don't know, a vast ocean of intelligent, creative energy. It's alive.
Okay, so if this substance is thinking and creative, then our thoughts aren't just idle chatter. They actually do something to it.
That's the critical link.
Yes.
The idea is that we as humans are thinking centers. We can originate thought. And when you form a clear and definite mental picture of what you want, a house, a goal, whatever, you impress that thought onto this formless substance.
Like making a mold.
Sort of, yeah. You're giving it a design. You set creative forces in motion to actually produce the physical thing that matches your thought.
It sounds a bit like visualization, which we hear about a lot. But you said the manual stresses it's not passive.
Right. It's not just daydreaming. The difference lies in fixed purpose and unwavering faith. This isn't a 5-minute morning exercise. You have to hold that vision constantly. And crucially, hold it with the feeling, the belief that it's already yours. You're already using it, experiencing it.
Okay, that sounds demanding.
It is. And that conviction, that absolute certainty that it's coming, or rather that it's already here in spirit, that's what makes the thought creative.
Now, this seems like a good point to bring in what the source calls the fatal hindrance, because this sounds like where most people would stumble immediately, the competitive mindset.
Oh, absolutely. This is a huge point in the text. You must rise entirely out of the competitive mind. The second you start worrying about scarcity, thinking trusts have all the money or banks control everything, or that you need to beat someone else to get your share,
You've lost it.
you've dropped back into the competitive plane. And according to this science, your power to create, to use that formless substance, just cuts off, temporarily at least.
Why? What's the logic there?
Because you stop being a creator, drawing from an infinite source. You start acting like a competitor, scrambling for limited resources. The creative way requires knowing the supply is limitless, that what you want will come to you in a way that actually increases life and resources for everyone involved, not taking from others.
But hang on, this requires immense mental effort. The text talks about thinking truth regardless of appearances. How do you ask someone drowning in debt, maybe facing real poverty, to just ignore those appearances? That seems incredibly hard.
It is described as the hardest work. It's a constant conscious effort. You have to actively refuse to let your mind dwell on images of lack, struggle, or limitation. Because dwelling on the appearance of poverty, the source says, creates those negative forms in your mind and attracts more of the same. It's about denying the current reality in favor of the truth of infinite supply.
Wow, okay, that's a very, very high bar for mental discipline. So if holding the vision is like the blueprint, how do you make sure the signal gets through clearly? What keeps that connection to the source strong? That brings us to gratitude, right?
Yes, gratitude. It's presented as the absolute key, the way to maintain harmony or at one-ment with this formless intelligence or God or source, whatever term you prefer. It's the single word that sums up the required mental state.
What's really striking is how it's described, not just as a nice feeling or a moral duty, but almost like physics, a law of action and reaction.
Precisely. It functions like a natural principle. The action is your grateful mind reaching out in thankful praise. That gratitude itself is a release of positive force. It reaches the source.
And the reaction.
The reaction is immediate and continuous. The things you desire start moving towards you. The text quotes, "Draw nigh unto God, and he will draw nigh unto you." Your gratitude draws the supply toward you. The stronger the gratitude, the faster and more consistently things move your way.
So, like the competitive mindset blocking creation, a lack of gratitude also causes problems.
Instantly. Because without gratitude, where does the mind naturally go? Dissatisfaction. You focus on what's wrong, what's lacking, the common, poor, squalid aspects of your current situation. Transmitting those thoughts, those feelings of dissatisfaction to the formless substance only attracts more of those unwanted, inferior circumstances. Gratitude forces your attention onto the best, onto the abundance.
And it also seems deeply connected to faith. How does that work?
It's the very foundation. The source states clearly, faith is born of gratitude. Think about it. A truly grateful mind is always looking for good things, expecting good things. And that constant positive expectation naturally hardens into unshakable faith.
So if you can genuinely feel thankful for the things you only possess in your imagination in that mental picture,
Then you've demonstrated the exact kind of faith needed for this creative process to work. You believe it before you see it.
I have to raise this next point because it seems so counterintuitive. The instruction to be grateful for everything contributing to your advancement, even things you might normally see as obstacles.
Yes. This is one of the most challenging mental shifts demanded. You're told to be grateful for, like trusts, big corporations, even politicians you might disagree with.
Why on earth?
Because, from the perspective of this science, they're all part of the system, arranging the lines of transmission through which wealth flows. By maintaining gratitude even towards perceived antagonists, you align yourself harmoniously with the entire process. You stop seeing them as blockers and start seeing them as, maybe unwilling or unknowing, parts of the machinery bringing you what you want.
That is serious mental gymnastics, redefining your entire view of how the world works.
Okay, let's shift gears. We've talked a lot about the mental side, the thought, the faith, the gratitude, but the manual is clear. Thought alone isn't enough. This seems to be where many attempts fall apart.
Absolutely. This is the failure point for many who explore these kinds of ideas. Personal action must supplement thought. You can't just visualize and wait. Thought brings the desired thing towards you, metaphysically speaking, but it's your action that allows you to actually receive it when it arrives in your physical world. So what kind of action? Does it mean quitting your job tomorrow and starting a huge new thing?
No, quite the opposite initially. The rule is very clear. Act now. Act upon the people and things in your present environment. Waiting for the perfect situation or a different job or a move to another city that's seen as inefficient. Wasted time. You have to do everything you can do today right where you are. Because growth happens by doing today's work completely, not by neglecting it while dreaming of tomorrow.
So it's not about frantic hustle or doing a million things.
No, the emphasis isn't on quantity, but on the efficiency of each separate action. Every single thing you do, even the most mundane task, sending an email, cleaning your workspace, interacting with a customer, needs to be done with maximum efficiency.
And how do you make an action efficient in this context?
By performing it while holding that clear vision, that unwavering faith, and that fixed purpose in your mind, you infuse even simple tasks with that creative power.
And importantly, the sources warn against acting with haste or worry.
Yes, that's crucial. Hurrying comes from fear, doesn't it? Fear you won't get enough or won't get there in time. That fear instantly pulls you back into the competitive mindset. So actions need to be calm, deliberate, performed with that quiet confidence of a creator who knows the supply is infinite and time is not an enemy.
Okay, and this action in the world, especially when dealing with others, seems to carry a strong ethical component too.
A very strong one. It's vital for staying in the creative mindset. The rule is, in every transaction, you must give the other person more in use value than you receive in cash value.
More use value than cash value. Explain that.
If someone pays you, say, $20 for something, the actual benefit, the usefulness, the life enhancement they get from your product or a service should be worth more than $20 to them.
Ah, so it's about ensuring the exchange genuinely benefits the other person, makes their life better in some tangible way beyond just the money spent.
Exactly. It ensures you are always adding to life, contributing to increase for others. This solidifies your role as a creator, not a competitor taking value. You're making the pie bigger for everyone.
And how do you project this sense of increase, especially if you're maybe just starting out or struggling yourself?
You have to consciously convey the impression of increase in all your interactions. Your attitude, your tone, even your look should communicate a quiet certainty. Certainty that you are advancing, you are getting rich, and, importantly, that dealing with you brings benefit and opportunity to them too.
That confidence, that belief in your own inevitable success and your ability to help others succeed, that attracts people.
That's the idea. It draws people, opportunities, and even capital towards you because everyone is inherently attracted to increase, to more life.
This brings up a really important scenario. What about someone who feels stuck? Maybe a wage earner in a job they dislike, feeling controlled by the system. Can this really work for them?
The source material addresses this head-on. It insists that the wage earner isn't ultimately trapped by external conditions or powerful employers. If that person starts acting in this certain way, holds the vision, acts with maximum efficiency in their current job, gives more use value, conveys that impression of increase,
I don't know what happens.
then, the text says, a power which never fails will open up opportunities. It might be a promotion, a better job offer elsewhere, maybe a chance to start a small business on the side, or get the resources for a different path. Their current job becomes the very means by which they get a better one. It's about using the present situation, however imperfect, as the launchpad.
Okay, so pulling this all together, if someone listening wants to apply this science, what are the absolute non-negotiable pillars they need to focus on?
I'd say there are three essentials. First, you need that philosophical acceptance. You have to buy into the idea of the formless substance and commit to a purely creative, non-competitive mindset. That's the foundation.
Right, pillar one, mindset shift.
Second, the constant active maintenance of gratitude and faith. Gratitude keeps the connection open. Faith keeps the vision powered up. This isn't passive. It's continuous mental work.
Pillar two, gratitude and faith.
And third, efficient daily action. Acting now in your current situation, making every action count by infusing it with your vision and purpose, and always giving more in use value than you receive in cash value.
Pillar three, action with increase. And the outcome, according to the manual, isn't fuzzy or hopeful, it's mathematical.
It's presented that way. The wealth you receive will be in exact proportion to four things: the definiteness of your vision, the fixity of your purpose, the steadiness of your faith, and the depth of your gratitude. It's like an equation.
That's the core assertion. And interestingly, the source doesn't just stop at how to get rich, but also touches on why. It's not just about accumulating stuff.
No, the final argument is quite profound, actually.
Yeah.
It frames the desire for riches not as simple greed, but as the capacity for larger life-seeking fulfillment.
Larger life-seeking fulfillment, meaning
Meaning, the desire for more money, more resources, is fundamentally the universe's urge to express itself more fully through you, to allow for the complete development and expression of your potential body, mind, and soul.
so the goal isn't just luxury or intellectual pursuits alone.
It's the full expression of everything you can be, living a rich, full life in every aspect. And that, the source concludes, is why understanding and applying the science of getting rich isn't just practical, it's potentially the noblest and most necessary of all studies.
A very demanding framework. It puts all the responsibility and all the power squarely on the individual's thoughts and actions. Definitely something powerful for you to consider and perhaps experiment with in your own life.
Indeed, a fascinating perspective to explore.